Hey everyone, welcome to Life in Full Send, Athletes Reimagined, the podcast where we discuss the experience of redefining life after being an athlete. I am your host, Liz Hall, an integration specialist and your teammate in navigating that big question, what comes after sports? Each week I sit down with former athletes who have faced that very question and share how they navigated the transition. This week's episode features NFL draft player Ricky Martin. He is my beloved spin coach. And when I shared my podcast idea in the beginning stages, he immediately said yes to being a guest. I had no idea that the interview would go as deep as it did. Today, we talk about the darker truths of society. And I'll admit, when I heard it, my jaw dropped and I didn't even try to hide it. We talk about leaving home in the pursuit of a dream, racism, and how money can change goals. Let's get into it.
Reason why I went to New Mexico was to leave LA, was to get out the house, be on my own. I didn't realize New Mexico was like it is because when I went on the recruiting trip, I was around all blacks. A lot of college parties, and I'm like, wow, this is college life. I can stay up to 6 o'clock in the morning, they ain't worried about moms, and oh my goodness, are you serious? You know what I'm saying?
I'll take 2, please.
Okay. And then didn't realize New Mexico was a college town. Me and my boy got to New Mexico a week before camp started. And we was expecting the same kind of hoopla, and it was dead. Nobody was there. Only a few coaches were at the complex. We wasn't expecting that after being in the dorms for a couple hours by ourselves, wondering what's going on.
Did we just make up that recruiting trip? Did we just make that?
What's really going on? So we stopped in 2 separate phone booths, and I made a collect call to my mom and told her I changed my mind. I want to come back home. Send me a ticket now. And she had to talk to me for over an hour because I didn't want to stay. I did not want to stay. This is not it for me.
And this is before the racial stuff.
Yeah. See, I didn't know this was in the beginning, so all of that came during the school year.
You were mad there wasn't a party.
This is a college town. I'm not used to that. So it's dead. Nobody's around. Like, where is everybody? I'm ready to leave. So my mom like, Ricky, you just got there. I'm like, I know, but I'm ready to leave. In the end, guys started coming around and camp started opening up and football season started. And then that's when you realize you go to class and 500 students, you're the only blacks. Like, whoa, okay. They didn't tell me about this part of New Mexico. So growing up in South Central and have to deal with that for 2 years at New Mexico. Whenever we had an away game and we had to catch a plane, go to the airport, they provided us with 2 buses, right? Blacks got on 1 bus, whites got on 2 buses. For 2 years, we did that. And if you got on the wrong bus, and that happened to me, I got on the white bus. Felt so uncomfortable. And these are my teammates. We did that for 2 years. And I don't know what broke it or who broke it, but for our first 2 years, blacks got on 1 bus and whites got on the other. My environment was not that diverse. So then you go to New Mexico and it's truly a cultural shock. I would say it took me 3 years to get used to New Mexico. My first 2 years after my freshman and sophomore year, I threatened to transfer. In fact, after my freshman year, I enrolled in West LA College, but my people told me it would be best in my best interest to go back, which I did. And in the end, it was the best thing that happened for me. It taught me a lot about real life experiences. It was quite a journey. And then from New Mexico, I was fortunate to get drafted by the Steelers. So I guess you can say it worked out for me.
New Mexico isn't one of the power conferences. What's interesting is that you were thinking about going back to what would not be a Division I. That would have been a junior college, right?
Well, the plan was to go to a junior college for a year and then hopefully get another scholarship to a 4-year school. Football-wise, it ended up great. Personal, That was an adjustment again because of the challenges I had to face with my coaches, my teammates. It was a challenge. It's a lot. And then, too, you got to think about the environment where you were. New Mexico at the time I went was predominantly a white university. And it was only maybe 20,000 students or maybe 1,000 blacks. So for me, that was an adjustment on my part, going to a classroom and possibly being the only black in there. You know what I mean? Our coaches, we had a coach that was very prejudiced. These are the reasons why I decided I wasn't going to come back after my freshman year. I've never had experience like that. And I'm talking true real life racism. My trainer was in the Ku Klux Klan. We had a paper my freshman year, believe this or not, on the front page, it was a brother being hung, like back in slavery days. This is 76, not that long ago, but you wouldn't think that was still going on at that particular time. You know, the hanging and the Klan, yes, but the hanging, no.
You see how the NIL is good, and then we see how it's changed the game.
Yeah. If you had a kid who was like, okay, mom, I'm going to make pro ball and I'm going to make it big. And when I do, I'm going to get you out. So his determination is there. Now all of a sudden it's like, oh, wait a minute. Y'all going to give me a couple million? Well, now, oh, no, I don't have to play pro ball now.
Right.
That my goal has changed.
That got me out. That it's the goal.
Yeah.
You nailed it because you had said my goal was to make to NFL. But if an athlete's goal, and I think is now more relevant today, of I just need a check.
Yes.
Then we're talking two totally different levels.
Or go to, I'm gonna graduate from college, I'm gonna get this degree and do this. Oh, wait a minute. You giving me $1 million? Why do I need to graduate?
That's right.
Well, I can graduate. I'll put that off. I can go back. You know, here I can go back to school. Forget graduation now. You give me $1 million? Oh, forget that. Okay, no problem. What I got to pass class for?
Mm-hmm.
What I got to go to class for now? You know what I mean? So that goal has changed. After they get money, they looking at things totally different now. Totally different, which can hurt them in the long run because they're just concentrating on the now and not tomorrow.
Ricky, thank you so much for being part of this podcast. You are such a blessing in my life, and I'm so grateful for the vulnerability in sharing your story today. If this episode inspired you, please share it with a fellow athlete or friend navigating their next chapter, because we're all just writing our playbooks as we go. Make sure to follow and subscribe to Life in Full Send, Athletes Reimagined on YouTube. And if you loved the episode, please drop a quick comment so we can reach more incredible athletes who may need to feel seen and heard. Next week, we have such a special guest who wrote the love poem to baseball. You won't want to miss it. Until next time, please remember, the game ends, a chapter ends, but your story doesn't. Keep living life in full send.